GM, welcome to what's going to be another great episode of DevNTell. So, if you didn't know, DevNTell is a 30-minute podcast held every Friday, allowing founders, hackers, and anyone in between to come on the show and showcase their product. And today I'm ecstatic to welcome Abril Zucchi, who's a DevRel from Abstract. So, if you didn't know, Abstract is the builder's platform for consumer crypto, enabling a powerful way to create, deploy, and scale your Web3 dApps. So if you stick around for today's episode, you'll see Abril give us an overview of the Abstract chain, highlight its features, and tell us how we can get started using it today. All right, let's get into it. But first, a word from our sponsor. Today's episode of DevNTell is brought to you by our friends at Arbitrum. Arbitrum is a technology suite designed to scale Ethereum. You can use Arbitrum chains to do all the things you do on Ethereum, but your transactions will be cheaper and faster. With over 3.8 million ETH saved, 1.69 million active wallets, and over 1.7 billion total transactions, why would you want to settle for any less? Get started today by exploring Arbitrum's comprehensive docs and tutorials linked in the description below to help you get started launching your next dApp today. Now, on to today's show. GM, welcome to the show, Abril. A pleasure to have you on.
Thank you. Very happy to be here the third time, I think. This is my third time.
Oh wow, right on. You're a veteran of the show. Love it.
Yeah. I love this show.
Oh, thank you so much. We appreciate that. So we know we got a great episode lined up. We're going to be learning all about Abstract Chain today. But before we get into all the goodies, why don't you introduce yourself for folks who might not be familiar?
Yeah, so my name is Abril or Abril or whatever is the pronunciation that you got. It's good. I'm from Argentina originally, and now I'm living in New York. I moved to America like a couple months ago, less than a year ago. And I've been working in crypto since 2020. I've been previously working as a front-end Solidity engineer for almost 2 years and a half. And then I switched to DevRel, and I've been working in a couple projects, and now I've been working at Abstract for almost a year.
Oh, right on. Congrats on reaching a year. And I guess, like, have you always been into tech? Like, did you start your career in Web3, or did you have like a Web2 past?
So my first job actually was in a gaming company. It was not crypto related. It was just a gaming company from Latin America that were developing different games, cool games, and I was just front-end developer there. So I was working with Angular and shitty technologies that I do regret working with. I didn't know React at that point. But yeah, that was my first job, and it was not crypto at all. Then I kind of switched to Solidity developer, where I was working at a agency that works with a bunch of different DeFi protocols. And then I worked at one of the biggest exchange from Latin America called Ripio, which is funny because that exchange is now building a chain for Latin America on CK Sync, which, is ironic because Abstract is built on CK Sync. So everything makes sense now. One of my first crypto jobs is now built on CK Sync, and now I work on Abstract. But yeah, that's basically how was my path.
Gotcha. And full circle. So it's interesting how things kind of play out sometimes. But I mean, yeah, it's wonderful to see you land here. And I know you have quite a inspirational story on how you've come to this point. I know probably a lot of crypto Twitter knows this story, but there might be some folks who are listening for their first time or seeing you for the first time that might not know. Did you want to get into that a little bit?
For sure, yeah. So I will start with saying that I dropped out of high school when I was 17, so in my last year. It was during COVID, so it was it was very hard for me to just like do the school and online. I didn't like it at all, and I have a bunch of time to just study something that I really like to do. So that's why I got into programming, tech, and crypto. And I was again 17, not money, coming from Argentina, very low income neighborhood, and I basically just started to learn to code myself, just watching YouTube videos. I remember I was just getting Udemy courses, stuff like that. That was like very good. Like the amount of resources that you can find in the internet is insane, and you can actually learn whatever you want, if you want to. So I kind of did that to get a job in tech, to land in a job. And I got my first job at this gaming company, but I was getting paid $100, so it was pretty bad. I mean, for Argentina and someone who was 17, it was good, but at the same time, they were exploding me, so it was very bad. So I wanted to switch to an industry that gives you this opportunity, people invest in you. I've seen this in a bunch of people, like people that were literally coming from nothing, that kind of like ended up working in one of the biggest companies in crypto and stuff like that. So that's why I switched to crypto. And because in Argentina we were dealing with a lot of inflation, just devaluation of our national currency, so crypto and stable coins especially was like the big thing, right? Like the big thing if you actually wanted to keep value of your money. And it was actually really easy. We had a lot of companies that work literally, they offer debit cards that you can pay with USDC, USDT, stuff like that, and they make it very easy to access for like the general consumer. And so the community in Argentina for crypto is amazing. Like founders of Open Zeppelin, Hard Hat, POAP, all of these companies basically come from Lambda class, like all of these really good companies, really talented engineers, especially in the Ethereum ecosystem. It's just insane. Like it's the best place to be at, I will say, in the Latin American community. So I got into crypto, and I basically just scaled my way up. I didn't know English back then. This was like 2 years ago when I got my first job in like an actual American company. And that was like the way that I literally just scale so fast and so high, because I think the US or the North American market just gives you opportunities that you cannot find anywhere else, especially coming from Latin America. And so that's why I was very committed to learn English and get into a better market and better opportunities. And I started to even like, invest time into growing my social media account, like Twitter. Twitter is like the best tool, at least in my case, because it gave me all the opportunities that I had and I have right now. Like literally, how I joined Abstract is pretty much just Saigar messaged me on Twitter being like, "Hey, you want to grab coffee? Talk about DevRel." And we had a simple chat, and then that's it, and because I was around the timeline, and that's how people get opportunities. So yeah, that's pretty much the TLDR of my story.
Beautiful. And yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of determination to, like, at especially a young age, to kind of drive yourself to learn to code, much less like end up moving out of the country and like starting a new life. So kudos to you on that. And yeah, again, the power of like building in public. I'm sure you were sharing quite a bit of content on socials as you were learning to code and
Exactly.
whatnot. Right, right, yeah.
For sure. That's
It
like the thing that, I did it at the beginning in Spanish and it blew up. Like I was sharing Solidity content in Spanish, or like blockchain development. And because there's not a lot of resources in Spanish on that specific niche, um it's literally like the way that you can grow your account. Like when you're from a specific country and there's not a lot of content in that language, it blew up. So that's how I grew, and it's like I will recommend anyone to do so, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, and it's been tried and held true for a lot of people at Developer DAO and like Web3 in general. Like you scroll the timeline, lots of cool people building cool things end up having or landing great jobs and eventually coming on the show. Yeah, unselfish
Exactly.
plug here. But anyhow, before we get into abstract itself, just a little fun angle, like maybe what's a fun fact about yourself that maybe not a lot of people know, like outside of Web3 or something.
um I will say this is a hard question. I will say at the beginning, I was very fake it till you make it. I remember I was, for someone who was 17, no high school degree, no anything, I was like, how can I just like figure out how to land in a job? So I pretty much just like make a website, a landing page of a company, whatever, a LinkedIn, everything, and I landed to my first job saying, "Yeah, this is a project that I was working for." And it was literally my own. And it was like, this is a company, I was working freelance and I did this and this and this, and I showed actually like the things that I did, but it was literally just for myself. And I was like pretending that it was a company I was working at, and that was the way that they hired me. Otherwise, like I had zero experience, so I needed to literally just like make shit up to actually land in a job. And I think, there's nothing wrong with that at the beginning if you're someone who just wants to get in a job, and then of course you will actually experience something real, right, with real team members and stuff. But that was a fun fact.
Awesome. And I mean, work is work, right? It's not like you didn't do the work. It was just like you spun the story in a positive way.
Exactly.
But yeah, exactly. Whatever it takes. Um, but yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. And yeah, I guess let's get into all the great stuff you have for us from the abstract end. I guess firstly, like what is abstract? If you had to do an elevator pitch of it.
So I don't want to define abstract like another L2 that is building for consumer. It's like the same speech for every other L2. In fact, I'm kind of bullish because people just recognize us as the actual consumer chain, and some people think we're an L1, which I don't know if it's bullish or not, but I'll just say that. But we're a chain that is basically focusing on getting the consumer face of crypto. And what I mean by this is that, we are facing a real issue that is the industry is very small. If you think about it, it's very small and it's hard to onboard people because the current UX is very complicated, like the traditional wallet UX. Like we don't even need to mention it that much because we all know that MetaMask, it's not because I want to shit on these wallets, but it's really a hard UX for people that are not involved or not crypto natives or whatever. Like if I want to onboard my grandma, literally I send money to my grandma on crypto because it's easier than just sending Argentinian pesos, convert from USD to Argentinian pesos, and do all of this. So I don't do that. I just send her USDT. And I needed to sit with her for like 5 hours, explain her everything. And she's still dealing with understanding how to transform that money into Argentinian pesos and how to not, make the wrong transaction to a wrong network. And it's just very complicated. So I will say that Abstract is trying to fix this. Abstract is fixing the current UX by just building. We have a wallet that is basically a cross application smart contract wallet that uses native account abstraction underneath, and we use Privy underneath. Privy, amazing tech. Um, so what we do is that we have a wallet that is integrated in our website, and you don't need any other browser, other extension, or anything like that. You just have your wallet, you interact with all the apps, you fund, you send everything in just one app, which is our web app, abs.xyz. So we will do that walkthrough later, but basically we're trying to fix the onboarding to basically bring more people, the masses. We're always talking about mass adoption and stuff. We're actually trying to fix that. And I will say we're trying also to be the most fun place on chain. Like on Abstract, you can find games, you can find NFT collections. We just did a partnership with Red Bull Racing, which is insane, for the F1 that is happening this week, actually in Monaco. So we're just trying to be really the consumer place for crypto and to make it fun. I will say it's not because I work here, but it's a very fun website. You don't, it's addictive even. So
Yeah, yeah. You guys have a lot of neat features like like streaming and like an app store that you'll get into likely. Um, like does abstract cater to a specific niche? Like, are they just for gaming? Are they just for AI, or more of a general purpose?
I will say we're just more general consumer. We do have a lot of games, but I wouldn't say we're the gaming chain. I wouldn't say we're the AI chain. We're also, we're just it's just happening this new game, Monsters That Fun is an AI Asian game that is minting today. So you can mint and then play later on. And it's very exciting because it kind of makes the gaming part, the AI Asian stuff, and we just have a lot of different things. I would say one of the easiest ways to onboard consumers is through games. So we do focus on that, but we also want to have experiences kind of like outside of crypto, like this Red Bull racing. Um, because I think that's the way that people can be aware of what abstract is. And imagine someone that goes to the F1 and whatever, they hear about abstract, they mean the NFT, and you know, things can happen that way. When you're just like you're making noise somewhere outside of crypto Twitter. So I will say our main goal is just to onboard any kind of consumer user.
Yeah, yeah, well said, well said. And can you get into any details around the Red Bull thing, or
Yeah, pretty much just we're gonna be, I think I'm not super aware of F1 or anything like that, but I know that there's gonna be a couple of events this year in different locations, different cities. This week in Monaco, then I think in Miami and Singapore for the Token 34.9 week. So in each week there will be events happening on Abstract that you can meet NFTs and participate kind of on the experience. But yeah, we will be announcing all of it on our Abstract account, but also in the Red Bull Racing Twitter account.
awesome? Yeah, looking forward to seeing that. And I guess this is a good segue to kind of see what abstract is all about. Did you want to get into the walkthrough?
Yeah, so let's share screen here. Let me check. Okay.
And for folks watching us live, if you have any questions for Abril, please drop them in the chat, and we will get them answered for you as we go.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yep, yep. Floor is yours.
Perfect. Perfect. So we'll do a walkthrough here. But first, let's go to the main landing page. This is the first thing that you will see when you get into abs.xyz. We just actually announced this new landing page. I love it. And see, we focus on saying that we're the builders platform for consumer crypto, where you can find our apps. We try to build some kind of app store. I think we got inspiration from a lot of different apps or places that we kind of found very interesting, like the app store. You can find all of our ecosystem listed here, and then here is the portal and our developer docs, which they're very good, by the way. It's not because I'm in the DevRel team, but they're very good. We try to make it easy for everyone to understand how to integrate the Abstract Global Wallet. So now let's get into the portal. So here is pretty much, I don't know if you can see. Let's do this. Here's the
Yeah,
first thing that you guys will see. You have your profile, which if you're a first-time user, you will have your address here instead of your username, and you will be able to edit that here, your description, and to connect with your social media accounts, which that will give you rewards here. We kind of give this kind of badges to incentivize users to do stuff on chain. For example, if you fund your account, you will get this badge. If you connect your Twitter, you will get this. And if you play different games like the Bitcoin game or multiplier, you will get different rewards. And that will be displayed on the XP site every single Tuesday. We update and we give XP away to the users that interact with the abstract ecosystem. So if you stream or interact with streams, with games, anything, that will be rewarded here on the XP. So this week, for example, I got 8,000 XP, which is pretty high, but I've done better. Like this week, 18,000. So depends on my interactions with the ecosystem will be better. Then we have the basically the wallet. So here's all the meme coins that I'm currently holding. Very bullish on all of this. But also you can see your NFTs here. You can see the transaction history. See, it's like pretty straightforward when you want to kind of like see everything that is happening on your account, because as I think I mentioned this, but abstract global wallet is this, right? Like it's exactly this. You can fund your account, you can send through here. It's just very easy. I can just send to someone and it will be immediate, and you don't need to just learn different things, use a private key. We're pretty much easy to log in. For example, I will just show, when you're a first time user, you can just create your abstract global wallet account by using your Google, a previous wallet, or a passkey. So this is something that, completely changes the game, because we're used to the 12-word phrase or whatever, the private key. And like, how can I onboard my grandma to that, right? Like, how can I onboard someone who is not crypto native using that? So this is just very easy. You just connect your Gmail account and you have already your account on abstract, which is a smart contract. It's pretty straightforward. And then if you want to found your account, you can just use a bridge. You can just use a centralized exchange, Coinbase, MoonPay. We have a couple different options, and it's everything here. Then we have the streaming section, which this is a thing that makes me feel very proud of my team. This was something that when they told me we're trying to build this, I was very excited, because actually crypto needs more content creators, more streamers, and more people that actually put the work on showing what's going on chain. So here is basically all the streamers that are currently creating content on abstract. And one of my favorite things, let's say I followed this guy. He has a lot of people watching now, 3 people. So we're gonna give him support by sending him a tip. So this is something we built. It's basically our native tipping. So you can tip on chain on ETH, USDC, Pengu, Newt, or Appster, which is pretty awesome, because we're used to see, in Twitch, if you stream and you get tips, you get paid, I think, a few days after, and you don't get paid the full amount that you like people actually send you, because it takes fees and takes, commissions and stuff. So if I want to send Merhev, just let's see here. Oh, I don't have any USDC. So let's see, I will send him 500 Pengu. I will send a tip, and it will be pretty immediate. So I just tipped him 500 Pengu, and he already got that immediately. And we have this chatting section, which is pretty cool. I just feel like this is something that people don't realize, but streaming is one of the ways to onboard consumers to crypto. We're trying to get more streamers on abstract that can stream different things. Like some people stream games on abstract, some people just chat, some people just like do some fun shit, and we are just trying to be the platform that people have fun with. So when I say it's one of the most fun places on chain, is because of this. You not only have different games, but also a streaming section that you can just, be watching for hours. And if you go to his transaction history, he just got the transaction immediately and no fees. So the other part is the app store that I was talking about. And this is something that I also love, which is the app vote section. We kind of, I would say this reminds me of Product Hunt, because in Product Hunt, you know that you vote apps, and then the ones that are voted the most are on the top. So this is pretty much the same, and you are able to vote. This is basically, we have a smart contract. This is a abstract voting contract. So this is also on chain. So any app can also implement, for example, road tracing, can give rewards to people if they app vote from their app. And it's just pretty much just interacting with the apps and giving them support on this. And we spotlight different apps every week. For example, this week OpenSea is the first, because we have a lot of NFT collections things happening with OpenSea this week, so stay tuned. But if you can see all of the most popular apps, which is Gigaverse, Road Tracing, Gasha, pretty much games, and this prediction market will be on the spotlight apps. And then you can just search based on the category of the apps. See, we have social, we have trading. It's pretty much easy to understand and interact with. That's why I love it for consumers. I think if you're first time user on some crypto app, this is the way to actually understand what you can do on chain. And then the last part will be the trading section. We also improved this a couple of weeks ago. Now you're able to just trade your tokens, swap with whatever token you want, the top meme coins and abstract right now. And then you can see the chart here: market cap, volume, liquidity. You can access to the Explorer here, the screener, and you can explore all the top tokens. So that's pretty much what the abstract portal is. And yeah, it's pretty fun. Let me know what you think, or if you have any questions.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It does look very fun. Uh, for the streaming part, is there any part of that stream that's saved on chain, or is it just like a stream, like a regular old stream?
Do you mean if you use some kind of API on the streaming?
No, like for example, if you go on a stream, is that stream recorded on like a decentralized storage protocol, or is it just like saved in like a Web2 manner?
Yeah, I think for now just stays in a like a Web2 way. We use, I think GetStream is the API that we use. I'm not really sure, but yeah, it's not currently on any decentralized storage right now. You just
Gotcha,
basically, if you want to stream, you start your streaming in StreamYard or OVS, and then you copy the stream key, and basically that's the start of the stream. So we use that kind of way to start the stream.
gotcha. And Billy's asking when did the abstract stream?
We, you know what? I made a mistake. We should stream this at the beginning on
Ah,
abstract.
it's
I
okay. It's
I
okay.
completely forgot. Yeah, but the next time you're more than welcome. I will get you accepted, and you're more than welcome to just join the abstract streamers community every time you stream with some other builders.
Ooh, ooh. Perhaps will DevNTell start to stream on abstract? Maybe some alpha. Approve it, as Billy says. um, yeah, there's also a couple other questions from the crowd that I'd like to bring up. So OX Dempy asks, is or will abstract jump into RWA?
I don't think we have any plans anytime soon.
Gotcha, gotcha. Fair enough, and great question. And question from Naomi is, any plans on adding any more OAuth to providers besides Google? Discord is something she seems to be interested in.
Yeah, we're planning to do that. We actually get asked that a lot of times. That honestly depends more on Privy than us.
Uh,
Because as I said, Abstract Global Wallet is built underneath Privy. So It's based on their authentication methods, but not pretty much on us.
Gotcha. Cool, cool, cool. And great question again. And another question from my end. Is there any type of mobile native app for this portal, like on iOS or Android, or if not, any plans to do that?
We do have plans. Right now, we do not have the abstract level wallet for mobile. But we pretty much optimize the mobile experience to be one of the best experiences as we can, but I do feel like we will definitely have the mobile experience very, very soon. And we do have a couple games on the abstract ecosystem that are fully on mobile. So if you want to use the SDK for a mobile game, for example, for abstract level wallet, you're able to do so. It was pretty complicated at the beginning because of some, the SDK is pretty much React only. So some people were using Flutter, some people were using Vue or some other frameworks. But because we integrated Wallet Connect, now you're just able to do mobile games and integrate the abstract level wallet on it. So yeah, we'll say it's pretty straightforward right now.
Great, great to hear. And in terms of getting listed on this app store, like what's that process like? What are the minimum requirements for people to show up there, basically?
So um, if you go to the discover part, I think it was here. Well, I actually do not remember where was it, but you can basically upload your app here, your information, and you can basically we chat with all of our ecosystem apps. The only two requirements though to be listed on the portal is to have at least a tier 1 audit on your smart contracts and to integrate the abstract global wallet, because we need every single app to have our native wallet, because that's the way that we track all the XP, the interactions of the users, the rewards that we give to the badges. So it's, that's pretty much the two requirements that we have for the portal. And then, yeah, we're just open to chat with anyone building a consumer app, and yeah, just support them with the AGW integration.
Awesome. And yeah, I guess to kind of continue on that last bit, like if devs want to get started with abstract today, like what's the best way for them to do that?
So this is our docs. We have, I would say, the most. This is something that I forgot to mention, but we're now EVM equivalent. So we were not EVM equivalent before. We're built on CK Sync. CK Sync just released that like last week. So we're now EVM equivalent. We use like an EVM interpreter. Um, so you can basically just deploy code using Foundry. I will recommend still using the CK Foundry, because using a regular, Foundry or using the EVM interpreter will be 4x or 5x higher, like the fees. So I will still recommend using CK Foundry or just a regular CKVM. So here is our docs, pretty much very straightforward. Smart contracts, if you use Hard Hat Foundry, you can connect to mainnet here, to testnet here. And then for the abstract global wallet, this is the SDK. We have the session keys part as well. This needs to be whitelisted. So if you integrate session keys, which is this removes the friction of having the pop-up every time you approve a transaction. So if you want to integrate this for mainnet, you need to, get whitelisted before. So we review the code. We try to make sure that everything is very safe. So we list your code after it's reviewed, and then you access to the session keys. But pretty much everything is here: the wallet linking, the actions, the abstract client, and then you can see different demos here and our YouTube channel. Pretty much that's it. And here is the API reference if you need it. We just added this actually. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Amazing, amazing. And yeah, we'll be sure to link to this to these docs in the description below. And one last question to squeeze in before we end off. Naomi asks, games are pretty big on base. What's the biggest selling point for game devs to pick Abstract instead?
So I actually do not know any like really big games on base. I know that they kind of approach the same kind of like consumer um facing, but I will say for developers, it's just a way better experience because, for example, if you have a game and you want to again make it very smooth, like the experience needs to be very smooth, seamless to use and everything, we have the session keys in our wallet, which allows you to just remove the pop-ups at all. Like you won't have pop-ups, you will just play the game and forget that you're on chain. That's one of the things, like the experience in general of the wallet of the games are very smooth, but also we drive a lot of volume. We drive a lot of volume growth. Our community is just super big and we keep growing. So for any consumer founders that are building, for the first time a game and want to grow and want to actually get users, I think Abstract is the best place to be at because we literally just keep growing. Like because it's even our NFT collections, like not other chain. I can't think about other chain that is actually just being very big on the NFT side. I think we're literally trying to get back to the NFT era with Abstract. So if you go to OpenSea, Magic Eating, one of the top NFTs are on Abstract. So it's just a very fun place to be at. And as I said, because we list them on the portal and we give on a weekly basis just different badges to users for different games, you just have a lot of volume growth and just I can think of the word now, presence. You have a lot of presence. So you will be on the top of the portal if you're building a cool game and you have a good reputation and everything. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Yeah, the gamification of game. Yeah.
Exactly.
Uh, Great question, great answer. And yeah, unfortunately, this brings us to time. Abril, so thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come talk to us about Abstract and sharing a little bit about your background as well. It was amazing to have you on.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, my pleasure. And before everybody leaves, I'm going to drop the link in the chat for you to be able to claim your attendance badge on Bit Badges for watching us live today. So if on-chain collectibles are your thing, definitely check that out. You'll have about an hour to be able to claim that badge. And with that, just want to wish everybody a very happy Wednesday. We're Wednesday today. This week we have a double header on DevNTell. Hope everybody has a great day, and we will catch you back here on Friday for another great episode. All right, all. Have a good one.